Yo,
Yo, man. We live, man. You already know what time it is. This is Word on the Street podcast. You already know it's your boy D Major.
My bad, bro. I cued the music a little late.
It's all good.
it's your boy Black Raindrops. What's up, world?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
up, man? How y'all doing, man?
Shit, chilling, bro. Chilling.
Man, shit.
And I haven't seen y'all Negroes in a minute.
I know that's been shit. Been a couple of days, man.
Yeah, it's all good though. You
Shit.
know,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
get it pop. What y'all got going on? Yeah.
That shit, man. Cool, man. Trying to get to another dollar, man.
hmm Another day, another dollar. That's if
Another
you
day, another
are
dollar.
lucky enough. That's if you're lucky enough to get a raise.
Get a
Yep.
raise. Got that right, man.
Word. What up, city?
Chilling,
Word.
chilling, man. Chilling. Watching the world pass by, man. Everything is
Shit.
so expensive. Everything is so expensive. Everything is so expensive.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Boy,
Hate it here.
you can't even
Shit.
eat out no damn more.
Shit, you can barely buy groceries.
If you eat
I was
out,
about
if you eat out, you better eat half of that shit and bring it in so you can eat it
I'm
in
trying to tell you,
All
the
right,
next
man.
day. Get two
bro.
meals, 3 meals out of that shit.
I have not sat down and eaten at a buffet restaurant since the pandemic was over. Now,
Yeah.
I have been to a buffet restaurant, but I always get the to-go box. Like you said, I'm gonna eat a little bit now, a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that shit.
Yeah, I ain't been to a
I've
buffet in a
been,
minute
I've
either.
been, I've been a couple times, but not as much as I would have like prior to the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
It's,
fucked up, ain't it?
it's so expensive, man. Like you can't even really. Everything is so expensive. You see the price of rent right now. You blow
Yeah,
your whole
man.
tax check on 1 month rent.
Oh, for real, man. Shit.
Or they
Rent
take
used
that
to.
tax check and like move into some shit they can't afford, and then they get put out about 4, 5 months later.
Guilty. I'm getting ready to be put out right now.
Oh man.
Stupid.
3 years.
What we gotta do, bro? What we gotta do, man? Y'all gotta subscribe to the podcast, man. My
Y'all
brother needs some money.
gotta
Yeah,
have the
for
We
money,
real.
gotta
man. Hey,
That
but
nigga
yeah, I
say you about
wanna
to get put out right now.
about to get put out.
in the
Like the
middle of the
sheriff
episode.
outside right now.
Hmm? They at the office right now.
What do you think most people do with the tax refunds? Like,
Blow that shit.
Car, car,
Blow that motherfucker.
car,
yeah,
Straight.
car,
right.
car.
Yeah,
They gotta have
that
a
is the
car.
first thing. That is the first thing. That is the first thing. Because usually people that get a tax refund are in an income bracket to where they could get a tax refund. You feel me?
Yeah.
Mm.
And a lot of times it's a social economic thing to where a lot of them don't have cars and shit. So that is usually the first thing
I
that they
don't know,
invest that
man.
money in.
Motherfuckers have cars. Yeah, they have
Well,
cars.
they gotta upgrade them though. You know what I'm saying? At least they
Yeah,
think
that's
it's an
what it is.
upgrade. Yeah, they think it's an upgrade.
But you can't buy a $3,500 car cash and expect for it to still be running next January. So I think it's a
That's
little
the
deeper
issue.
than that. Like, yeah, you can't go to the car lot or take that 3,500, do something else with it, whatever Dez about to say do with it. Get that credit right, then you go to the lot or something like that.
Pay off them bills.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, pay them bills. I mean, shit. I bought my car about 3 for 3 bands. That shit ran me for about 4 years.
Man, you lucky
So,
because you got a Honda.
yep. I'm 100 last forever, man. Yeah, motherfuckers be blowing this shit real cars they can't afford. They'll go get a brand new car at the lot. Not brand new, but something off the lot where they gotta make payments on and can't make payments on it.
Yeah.
Some shit like
With
that. That be
no
fucking niggas up too.
so let's say when we get our tax time checks, maybe we're not planning it correctly. And I think that comes from me personally. I just feel like that probably comes from like people just not either not used to having money or it's just like a break. Like you got a good little break
Yeah,
and you wanted to get a
yeah.
pair of shoes for a while, you wanted to
Hmm.
take your girl out for a while, all this stuff that you wanted to do for a while. Now you about to do it. Now you back to square one in 3 months or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen, coming from finance, people come in like tax season is when you make your money in finance and accounting. I don't care what anybody says. That's when the commissions, that's when the checks come in heavy, and it's
Hmm.
it's almost like predatory lending because people are like celebrating and happy, and like you said, they had a moment where they're making a quick come up, right? So when
Right.
you make a come up financially, all you want to do is shop. You want to some of them go to Walmart and spend a bunch of money, or they,
Right.
they come try to
Right.
buy cars. They buy
Yeah.
food and shit that they didn't eat before, all kinds of shit like
Right.
that. Go out
And
and
you
get
could
some Jordans and shit.
you could tell the people that's not really used to having they get their tax check because they got a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, all of a sudden they got a
Like,
bunch of shit.
why the hell you need like 8 boxes of cornflakes and shit and pay in cash? Like,
Oh,
why you need that?
And all them TVs and shit.
Right, bruh,
Why you
bruh.
yeah.
why do you think pawn shops are like filled with TVs?
Yeah, 'cause
Bro,
Tax
so
season.
hey, what's some things that if you're in Walmart and you see somebody got in their cart that just automatically lets you know that they spending their tax check?
TVs.
What they
yeah,
got in the cart?
yeah.
You know
Anything
how
from
many
the late.
people I told to go pawn their TVs to make their car payment when I was in auto finance? I'm like, okay, so you can't make your payment. Um, do you have cable?
Being
Yeah.
being
Okay.
being that
No, they
you
got that.
being that you were a finance manager, man, why y'all keep calling us?
Fuck you mean why I keep calling
Cause y'all call us like back to back to back back. Man, we see that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit
you?
right
Man,
there.
yeah. We gotta motherfucking get paid. I'm trying to tell you, we gotta get paid. Fuck fuck what y'all think. We don't care what the fuck y'all got going on in your life. Bottom line is we have goals and metrics that we gotta meet. So it's like
Yeah,
if we gotta call your ass 5 times a day, you better pick up. You should have picked up on the first damn call.
Man,
that's
niggas don't do that. Niggas look at the call ID, but like, "Man, fuck them niggas, man. I'll call them niggas back later on or some
right.
shit like that.
Hey, we got
That's
a
why
lot.
that's why I used to
We
go out and buy a prepaid cell phone and call their asses from the prepaid cell phone.
Damn, I
we
do all that.
What?
damn.
That's why they.
What's the dude on All About the Benjamins?
I don't know.
Mhm.
It was Ice Cube, but it was Ice Cube's character on All About the Benjamins.
Can y'all see? Can y'all see
Oh
my?
man, but I ain't
Can
gonna
y'all
lie.
see my army logo and shit?
Yeah, hell
All
yeah.
right, all right, word.
Man, y'all remember Mike Epps, Ice Cube, All About the Benjamins?
Nah, I remember
Book
it,
him.
but I
Yeah,
His
man,
don't.
the
name was
movie,
Book
yeah.
him. Book him.
What was it?
Okay,
What
yeah,
was it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So y'all be out there like Book him.
Hey,
Oh shit.
But yeah, man.
I
So
used to
that's
make that go over. I used to make 100K doing that,
so
running a
that's why the
finance company.
that's why the caller ID had the city and state. So niggas are thinking somebody calling them from
Yep,
sound
and
like a
every
red.
week, every I would set weekly goals, and every week we go out. I'd send somebody out to get a whole like a different prepaid phone.
It sound like y'all went out of business because I'm pretty sure nobody was answering none of them calls.
Shit. Hey,
Hey, spin off topic, man. Same topic, but spin off topic, man. Baby mothers, baby fathers, tax return money. Should the baby mother give the baby
oh shit.
father tax return money if he's been paying his tax, not his taxes, well, they tax the child support too. Should a baby mother give the baby father money from her tax return if he pays his child support every month that year
Go ahead,
on
Dad.
Hell
time?
yeah.
Go
Get that
ahead,
nigga
Dad.
his bread, man.
Damn right.
Shit.
Because that's income for her. That he, it's almost like he's sending her a paycheck. So that's
Right.
income.
Yeah, that
So
should happen. That shit
damn
don't
right
happen
he should be.
though. That shit.
I mean, it'll never happen
Right.
Never will. Hell
But
no.
why do you
because
feel
they
that way?
selfish as hell and all
Right.
they care
Yeah.
about is like you know buying the next pair of shoes or taking a little man to get some Jordans and like getting a
Right.
$250 weave and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They selfish in those situations because
I
they
get
it's a
that.
come up. So it's
Yeah.
they scared to part ways with some of it. You feel me?
Right. See,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really fault. I don't even really fault women who get child support and government assistance and all this money on their taxes and all of that, simply because it's free money. And once you realize that it's just free money that you can get, it's gonna be hard for anybody to kind of just pass that up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's not free money. Let's get that out.
I mean,
Let's
it's
get
free
that
for
clear.
them. It's
Let me
free for them.
and here the mentality suggests that it's free,
It's
but
free
it
for
isn't
them.
free. You know what I'm saying? Like if you smart, all right, you might not even make it to the end of the year or the beginning of the next year to get the tax refund. So the goal should be to minimize your like balance your exemptions and shit and your allowances so that you can get as much as your money of your paycheck today. So instead of worrying
Hmm.
about or waiting for the end of the year or like tax season and shit.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you don't make it to tax season?
Right. I've done that. I've done that
Yeah.
when I was working like in the workforce like that. Yeah. It took me a while to learn how to like balance the deductions and like with the taxes and all of that. I
Hmm.
remember I was telling somebody like, "Yo, we were making the same amount of money," and I just kind of itemized, well, kind of adjusted my taxes that were coming out based on some shit I read off of the internet. But-
And not only that, in addition to that, think about it, right? Let's say you are in a child support situation, right?
right.
As a man,
Hmm.
why the why the fuck would excuse my language? Why the fuck would you make sure that you could get as much tax refund as possible so it can go to
Exactly. So it
somebody
can get
else?
taken.
Yeah,
So it
you
can get taken.
minimize, you balance it so that
Right.
you don't owe any money, but you're getting as much of your paycheck today
Right.
instead of sending it off to some damn body else
Hmm.
that's just gonna blow it or even spending on another man.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm.
Hey, make sure y'all hit that
It pissed me
subscribe
off with that
button.
shit too, man. When they do that shit
Yeah.
because I've seen it.
You do not have to watch the entire podcast, but make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching. We need subscribers because one
Yeah,
day we might talk about something that you might like.
we will talk about
We
something
will.
like for
Hell yeah,
sure,
Hey,
for
we
sure.
will.
but the thing is, I don't know, man. Like with me, we ain't gonna talk about me, but
This nigga said he
let's
said he
talk
gonna
about
start
some.
off.
Let's talk about somebody else.
Shit,
With
I could talk
people,
about me.
nah. But at the end of the day, it's just weird to me to see. Like, I mean, I'll just put it out there. Like, I pay child support. Currently, I don't even know, like 500 something a month currently. Um, Who cares? Whatever. Life is life. You gotta go through that. You gotta pay it. You gotta deal with it. The
You can
only
run, but you
just
can't hide.
yeah, just don't die. That's the only objective. Don't die. Everything else gonna work out. Um,
Word.
but I mean, for me, I don't really care too much about tax time. Um, I don't really care too much about
That's because you don't get the
the
money, nigga.
yeah, but I don't really care too much about like what the baby mother does with the money or what anyone does with their tax money or what I would do if I got the money. It's just because I never got it. I got like $1,400 from Trump stimulus one time, and anything else like that was just all on me. Everything else was all on me at that point. And before then, I never got like a big break with where I got money.
That didn't mean you didn't want to though.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
want it. I want that
And that doesn't
motherfucker
mean
now.
like if you could
I
have
need that
if
motherfucker
you
now. Nah, nah,
it's
nah.
about
We
it's about
we
education.
yeah, we ain't saying I don't want it. Don't need it.
Hey,
Hell yeah, nigga, give me the
hell
break.
yeah. You just say you about to get the bit there, boy. They might could interrupt the podcast right now.
That motherfuckers interrupt this motherfucker they want to.
It's about education. Most
Motherfucker better
I
wait
know,
till we
right?
finish.
About to be like, you gotta get a knock on the
Oh,
door.
nigga.
Bruh, bruh. Once
Relax.
the podcast over, if y'all want to come and kick me out of here, then that's fine. But you cannot kick me out this
Right.
motherfucker while we filming. Not filming while we filming. You can't kick me out while we filming, man.
Well, you know what's unfortunate? I keep one of the things I keep saying, I keep mentioning is how like the things we deal with is a social economic thing, right?
Mhm.
And that leads to either advanced education or the lack of education when it comes to dealing with child support and the system. You know what I mean? Because a lot of brothers just, or a lot of men, period,
Don't know.
regardless of the race, they just aren't educated on how to
Don't know.
navigate that process so that they
There we go.
aren't
Mm,
taken to the bank, and like treated like I won't
Yeah.
say what I was about to say, but it's all about education. I just I got lucky enough to where I got into finance and accounting early, where after I got out of the army, so I learned different things that most people didn't get to see. It doesn't mean I didn't have the struggles because I was paying $1,200 a month for like 8 years.
Mm.
damn. Shit, that's rent right now.
Yeah,
For
But
some
then
people.
you know what that did though? You know what that did? That motivated me to step my game up so that I could afford to pay the $1,200 a month without it
That's
That's it.
without
that's
it affecting me.
That's the
So
key.
it's like a
that's what I
double-edged
do.
thing, like it
That's
affect if it motivated me.
bro, that
Mm,
is me all day. Like I don't care. I don't care what it may cost or what type of situation it may put me in. If I want it, I'm gonna get it. And then I know that the hustle in me is gonna pay for it. Once I get it,
Hmm.
I ain't losing it.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah.
was taking 1,000, like what, 700 every 2 weeks, and I didn't even feel it.
But but
Mm,
check this out, bro. Like if you out here hustling or you got a job or whatever, and you're comfortable, whatever your pay is that's coming in, only thing you really like your drive is gonna be on covering your bills and covering your bullshit. After you cover
Hmm.
your bills and your bullshit, if that amount of money makes you comfortable, you're not really gonna care about getting more. Because what do you need more of what you already got for?
What you
unless you
think
want a
about
better,
that, Des?
yeah, yeah. Unless you want a better, I mean, unless you got bigger goals and shit, like you want a better lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, it ain't. And
Yeah,
once you got your main thing taken care of and shit, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers get comfortable with what they got, whatever's left
Mhm.
over and shit. For
Hmm.
me,
Right,
you know what I'm saying, I want more, so I'm gonna keep grinding. You know what I'm saying, to elevate my
right,
dollar amount. But yeah, there ain't shit wrong with that though. Ain't
right.
shit wrong. If you got
Yeah.
enough money and they got enough bread and everything taken care of and you
Mhm.
comfortable in that, Yeah,
Right.
it's
See that?
It's all about what works for you and the person that you're in a relationship with.
Right.
I don't give a fuck
Mm-hmm.
about what other people think.
Right.
It's all
Well,
about
most
what works for you. Like
most
for
people,
me, it's about freedom. Like, so
Yeah, that part. That part.
there ain't no such thing as free, man. You only free when you die. You ready to die?
there is such thing as freedom.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Are you
For me,
fuck you
I
talking
agree.
about?
I agree. For me, even for
Everybody
me,
has their own definition of it.
yeah, I was gonna say that.
E-
I was gonna say
Even
that. Yeah.
even sovereign citizens are not free.
Well, let me tell you. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have to. I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to clock in. I don't have to
Mm,
do anything that somebody else tells me I need to do. What I take care, my
Hmm.
household, and but in between time or any other time, I do whatever the hell I want to do. Like so, that's freedom. That's my
yeah,
definition of freedom.
that's
But
yeah,
I'm
that's
also 50, so yeah, I put in a lot of work to get to that point. But that's
But
freedom for me.
but you got to talk about freedom. Like, what's really freedom?
a lot of people want time freedom. Like time freedom is a thing too, where you don't like you said you don't have to clock in with nobody, but you got the time to do pretty much whatever you want. You want to chill with your family and your people, or shoot this podcast, or go travel or some
Right.
shit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of freedom I want. But to get that, you had to have your finances or whatever straight to make sure that
Correct.
you can take care of everything else that
So
need to be taken
there's
care of.
right. So there's no freedom there because you got to have like capital to allow you that time, and it ain't really freedom. It's just time. Because if you got
Yeah.
$100,000 and you're living like this or whichever, like whatever lifestyle that you're living, if you had like an accountant, they could chop it up and say you could live like this for the next 10 years and then you're not free anymore. Or you gotta get back to
Mm.
Man,
grinding.
what the fuck you talking about?
I'm saying, you were talking about freedom. Is
You
like
started talking code, you're starting to piss me off. But go
oh,
ahead.
now you was talking about like just being free, and I was like, nah, you can't really be free in today's society because today's society is all based on capital.
That's why you don't live for today's society. You live for your own fucking agenda and your own whatever your definition of freedom is.
Yeah.
I don't worry
Well,
about what society thinks.
if society say
That's
rent
just
don't,
me though.
if society say rent goes up 300% for the whole United States, you definitely fucking with society because you ain't gonna have no other choice.
We're talking about today, right? Today.
Leave that fuck tomorrow, man. Tomorrow ain't here.
Tomorrow doesn't
Yeah.
exist. Neither does yesterday.
Right, right.
You feel
Hey,
me?
but back on the taxes, man. Like
Okay, all
back
right.
on
Back
the
on the tax.
taxes. Let's go a little deeper into this. Um, I'm gonna go with Dez first before we go to Black Raindrops because I know Black Raindrops gonna
Man,
talk
shut
the
the
rest of the
hell
time
up.
out. Dez. So with tax return money, people receiving, income tax refunds and things of that sort. What do you feel? What do you feel they spend the money on most that they should not, and how do you feel like we should correct that going further?
Going forward.
Yeah,
I think
or
a lot of people, a lot of people spend their bread on, like we said, cars, clothes, jewelry, um, shit, just miscellaneous shit that we don't need, expensive dinners. You know what I'm saying? Like crab, motherfuckers going to eat crab. You see the most motherfuckers at the seafood bowls and seafood restaurants right after they eat laughing because you know it's true,
You
bro.
said crabs.
Niggas be packed in
Yep.
fucking
so
all the seafood bowls and shit like that. Cause they
why do
don't,
you why do you feel they
Buying
do that?
Snoop Loops and shit.
cause they,
Snoop
cause
Loops, man, you can get a box of Snoop Loops that can't even fit in your trunk for $1.29.
Yeah, and they go out and buy 20 boxes for $22.
Hey, you ain't got to buy them. You got to go to the back of the Walmart where they got them hidden there. Take them
Facts.
motherfuckers.
Gotta have a U-Haul.
Yeah.
But you could spend. Hey, shout out to Snoop, man.
Get them out
We
the
rock
dumpster. Yeah,
we
holla
rock
at me,
with
Snoop.
Snoop. We
Yeah, we
rock
rock
with
with Snoop.
Snoop. We
Yeah,
rock
we
with
And
P,
Master
but
Records.
we do want y'all to know that you can buy 20 boxes of Snoop Loops and you're gonna need a U-Haul, and it's
I've
gonna
never
cost you
even
about $43.
I've never even seen them. I've never even seen Snoop Loops.
Shit, they been in the
What
back
you
of the
Well,
mean?
Walmart.
I guess I don't
You
go to
mean you
places
never
where
see
they
them? They
sell.
look just like Fruit Loops.
I don't go to places where they sell them. I guess. Shit, we order our shit.
Yeah.
That shit gets
Hey,
delivered. I don't go to no. We don't go shopping. Our shit gets delivered.
he sounds like a hey Dez. He sounds like a Republican. You think he's a Republican?
I
I think
don't know, man. Hey, I
he's a
don't
black
know.
he's a black Republican, man. West Coast Crip, West Coast Crip, black
Hey,
Republican.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what y'all think.
hey, but Dez, man, back to you.
yeah, bro.
You can finish that off and then tell us how do you think that we could as a people make better decisions with that amount of money. Same thing for you, Black Raindrops. You up next.
I think it started with the education. Like once you, especially now, man, like social media got so many ways for you to like make bread or find out ways to invest in shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Instead of taking that money and spending it on shit that's only gonna last you or satisfy you for a month or 2 months or half a year or whatever, like put that bread into some mentorship or put it into like a business idea or somebody that's done something that you has is where you at and you want to be. Shit, pay for some mentorship and let them teach you what they did. That way, you ain't gotta wait no tax refund. You can get that motherfucker times 10 every month. You know what I'm saying? Or times 2 every month. You know what I'm saying? It's shit
Shout
like
out to
that.
Ill Will Studios, man.
Oh yeah,
He
for
talking
sure.
about Ill Will Studios.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Let's go.
Shout out Ill Will.
Yeah. Like shit, like invest in you want to take pictures, invest in the camera, invest in somebody that can teach you that shit. Or you want to start a business, you know what I'm saying? You want to invest in real estate. Find somebody that's good in real estate and let them coach you, let them teach you, spend that bread that way. And then next thing you know, you're on the road. Now you're not paying no taxes because you're making so much money that you can't pay. You can't get no taxes back. You got to pay that shit. But
Yeah.
what comes with that is you have a better lifestyle. You got more money. You know what I'm saying? It's a number of things that can benefit you from taking that tax money and investing it into
Yes,
yourself.
sir. Yes, sir.
I agree
Yes.
100%. That's how I look at it. That's how I look
Well,
at it.
let me tell you something.
Oh, another thing too, but before you start, I want to say this
No,
too.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't cut you off, but
No, you good.
and I think investing in your
He
environment.
always say that. I ain't mean to cut you off.
Hell yeah, I mean to cut niggas off
Yes, you
every time.
did, nigga. You cut me off. That means you meant to do it. Like,
That nigga
cut me
paused
off.
too long. He paused too long. I said, "Fucking, let me get this shit in here real quick."
You hear what I
But
told him, City? You hear what I said? Tell me, he ain't
Nah.
mean to cut me off. You cut me off. That means you meant to damn do it. What are you talking about?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Shit, you can take that money and invest in your like environment too. When I mean environment, like invest in your circle and shit, like motherfucker, like people you have around you and shit like that. Like if it costs you a little bit of bread to get into a room or some shit with some motherfuckers that's gonna teach you some shit, man, do that instead of investing that money in people that gonna keep you in that same
Correct.
little loop and shit that you're
Correct.
in.
Correct.
Word,
Hey,
word,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
go off this. I know you ready, Black Raindrops. I know you ready. But I'm gonna go off of this, man, because I'm gonna make it short and sweet, man. Like took $1,400 camera, got a $200 lens from the gate almost 2 years ago, and we're looking at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in the second year from this camera. With it wasn't from taxes, but you can do that with your taxes. You can do things like that with your taxes. But it's all about structure and how you maneuver with that money.
Facts.
You go Black Raindrops.
Facts. Like all that shit, yo, said. is true.
Oh, and I put my bro on. Did you hear what? No, well, we wasn't on live, but before we went live, bro, like, yo, I gotta go shoot this event tomorrow.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? So yeah, go get
Yeah,
that bread. Let's
yeah.
work.
You said you go
That's your
help them.
bread.
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Black
There's a
Raindrop.
difference. There's a difference between.
Oh hell, this nigga cleared his throat.
And I'm gonna take a fucking sip first.
Oh yeah, shit. What time we got left on this? About a couple more minutes. Yeah, you might as well go ahead and end
Freaking
it up, bro.
V water, and diet green tea. That's what I'm sipping.
Mm.
That shit look like wine, like white wine or something.
That
Nah,
shit
you-
about to turn you
But
into
y'all
a
know
more.
I call vodka V water. All right, look. First of all, there's a difference between what the races do with tax refunds. Like most of our experience is about what black people
Yeah.
do with their tax refunds.
And
But it ain't the same.
if you make this fast, we can dissect the two. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. There's a big difference, and I've seen it over the last 25 years of my career.
Ain't
They
no
do
difference.
different shit with it. You know what I'm saying? Like a black person might go get a car and put some rims on it, but a white person
Right.
might actually
Yeah.
fucking start a business, and an Asian person might bring their family members from fucking China some damn way and move them in the same house with them. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
to create some sort of a
Mhm.
generational type of thing. But if we're
Right.
talking about in general,
Mm-hmm.
what they should, you know what we should be doing with it?
What
Like
is that?
Jay-Z said in the song, Jewish people own 99% of the property, blah, 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 in America. You know how they did it? Credit. The only way you can get, like, keep your credit right is is if you pay off the shit that you owe. You know what I mean? To keep your
I
credit
don't
right,
know. I don't know about
so
that,
you can
man.
move with the masses. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
It
I,
creates
th- I
buying power.
I
You
think
know,
that's a
I don't mean your
miscon.
credit has to be perfect, though. I'm not
I
saying
think
that.
that's a misconception of credit. Um, because like if someone gets a lump sum of money, I ain't say like a large lump sum of money, but I'm thinking like we're like this is a tax time episode, so I'm gonna think taxes. I'm not really sure what they get. I just hear the talk. I would
It's
think
gonna be
five.
lower now. Nowadays, it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be lower. The
Right,
refunds are lower for
right.
sure. But
But
go ahead, my bad.
I would think like 5 to 10K, and then at that point, I wouldn't really advise someone to say go ahead and pay off your bills and get your credit up. I would really advise them to like get in the groove of trying to pay your bills on time and things of that sort. Because if you pay off all of your past debt without learning, you know, the responsibility of paying bills and things of that sort on time, you're just gonna waste that money. You're gonna build your credit up, then you're gonna put yourself in another jam, and then your credit score is gonna plummet again.
Mm. But
Go ahead, Dez.
Hey,
yeah, that
you heard me sounding like young Black Raindrops.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out to me, nigga.
Hey, BR in the building, nigga.
Hey, that nigga been talking like that so long, but we done that rolled up on my brother, man. Shit.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey, fuck
but
you, Dez.
ain't nothing wrong with that shit. I'm next. If he got it, I know I'm
I'm
coming up.
just fucking with you, boy.
Nah, he good. Shit. But see what a lot of people do, and I ain't like the best at like explaining this. I ain't like the knowledgeable about all this shit, but a
It
lot of
don't matter.
motherfuckers
Speak it.
what
You
they
just
do now
talk,
is
nigga.
they take when you get your personal credit right and you want to invest in like a business or something, you get business credit. And they run that shit up because that shit don't report to your personal credit, so your personal credit shit stay fine. I don't correct me if I'm wrong, Black Ranger. You know more about it than I
right.
do, but that's what the niggas doing. Like they taking their good credit and using that to get business funding to invest in their business and shit, and
Right.
running up the funds on that because
Yeah, then they
it's a
fucking
business.
up both. Then they fucking up both
Yeah.
sides of it.
Yeah.
Go on.
Right. Because if
Because
the
it goes back to education, like I was saying
yeah,
earlier, man.
if the agenda is to build your personal credit just so you can get business credit, then you probably gonna fuck it up. Mess it up. Sorry.
Let me tell you something.
It's a lifestyle, bro. Go
Let
ahead.
me tell you
It's a
something.
lifestyle. At the end of the day, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I agree with that.
That's why people with
It's
$10,000 and we looking at this shit. I know I'll keep cutting you off, man. But I'm
Nah, go
feeling
ahead.
up.
I
I'm
want you
I'm
to cut me off.
I'm tripping
I'm
off
a,
this shit. I'm tripping off of it. I'm tripping off of it because like I get to sit back and I just get to grind and be humble and grind and grind and grind and grind. And then at the end of the day, it's like people who have like this major opportunity at the end of every year that I wish I had. It's like a dream to have that. And they
They get
keep
what tax
messing.
money back?
Yeah, like
it's a
large amounts, 2, 3
Yeah.
kids. You got Section 8. Y'all got food stamps.
Yeah.
Y'all got all this.
Yeah. It's a lot, bro. Like I saw a chart or something with a tax child credit, and like you got like it show you like how much tax money you get back if you have like 1 child, 2 child, 3 kids. And that
Shit,
shit was up there,
2024.
bro. And I'm
In
like, God
2024,
damn.
nigga, you got one kid under 12 months old, you can get like 100,000.
I don't want that, bro. Hell no. They can keep that, bro. Anything, yeah, they can keep all that, but the IRS ain't gonna be knocking it.
Bruh, when you see folk out here talking about they finna buy a zebra, they ain't lying. Y'all laughing. Y'all think that they playing, but nah, they really out here shopping for giraffes and zebras, and they really gonna put them on the
right.
grill.
About to get 2 or 3 of them. Shit.
When somebody, bruh, I'm telling you.
They already had them on layaway before this.
Bruh, I already done the research. When somebody says that they want zebra meat when they get their tax money, they really about to buy a zebra and they really gonna put them on the grill. And
They
they gonna have a
did.
cookout.
What the hell is wrong with this nigga talking about zebra meat? Giraffe meat?
They had
What
that
y'all
shit
doing
there
over
for.
there? What the fuck
Hey,
y'all doing over
that
there
shit
in
go. Hey,
Richland County?
they gonna pay extra. They be like, hey, you want to pay extra for the shipping? I'm like, hell yeah, throw that on there. I got the money.
Man,
Ship that bitch from.
You know what the shipping gonna be like? The ship a zebra?
I know exactly what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be free with Amazon Prime. You can have an Amazon truck pull up with a big ass zebra on back of it. Whole zebra. You got to kill them yourself.
You still cause you know.
Hey, that's funny, bro. Oh man.
I'm joking, baby.
Hey,
I'm joking.
100K. No, I don't even want that, man. Shit.
Bro, and then what happens is once a zebra pull up, and it ain't gonna be the hardworking guy. It's always gonna be the guy that just linked up with the fat girl who got like 4 or 5 kids. He gonna be outside with his phone talking about, "Well, we told you we gonna get this zebra. Look at them, they pulling up." He gonna be on live with the whole
Hey, hold on. Let me ask you something real quick.
Let's go.
Let me ask you something real quick. What the hell you sipping on tonight? They talking crazy.
I'm sipping on a little effing vodka, man. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. Effing everything. Hashtag effing. Little effing vodka and a little beer. I got a little beer that that I don't think they would sponsor our show, so we're not gonna mention it.
Word. Nah, I think it's funny because talking about zebra and giraffe meat. Shit, get them shipped.
Well, you seen the post on Facebook. Mm-mm. You seen the post on social media? It's like, I want different meat. We tired of the same old meat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a zebra. I'm gonna get a giraffe and all that.
Hey, the same
y'all probably already ate cat and just don't eat dog and don't even know it.
I don't even care. I don't even care about eating cat or dog. As long as they toss it up and season it right and all that in the Chinese spot, and as long as you put the right tag on it, because it could literally be a sauteed cat in some teriyaki sauce. As long as you put the tab up, they say chicken, I'm on it.
Niggas ain't gonna ask no questions. If it look anything remotely similar, but niggas ain't gonna ask no questions.
I'm on it. Bro, we don't even ask questions if it's not remotely similar, because you can have it'd be like chicken teriyaki, and you look at the meat, and it's the dark. I'm telling you, it's the darkest meat chicken you ever seen in your life. You ain't never seen no chicken that dark, and you still go eat it. So at that point, it's like I don't care what you call it. It could be whatever animal you want it to be. Just don't put it on the sign. Just write chicken or beef. Put some sauce on it. Flip it in the pan a little bit, and let me hold it.
Hey, you ever seen them? You ever seen them at the restaurant in the back where they be moving the the pans
Yeah,
and shit? The
but
damn
the
food
wok.
about to fly. That be yeah.
Yeah,
That's why they be doing that shit.
I'm
Really
telling
put
you,
my
Hey,
listen to that motherfucker, bro.
anytime I order Chinese or Japanese or any kind of needs, it's always seafood, shrimp,
mm,
broccoli, because I know that is that is shrimp.
yeah.
I don't order
Honest.
chicken, fried, anything,
But what you gonna
beef
order when you
fried.
get your tax shit?
I don't get tax money.
Well, when you do, what you gonna order?
You know what I'm gonna do? I ain't ordering shit. I'm gonna put that shit in the safe. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that shit's boring. Dez, what you gonna order when you get your tax shit?
Shit, I get my tax shit, man. I'm gonna take a trip. Somewhere, shit.
See what I'm
No,
talking
I'm
about?
talking.
See
What
that?
you
See what I'm
no?
talking about?
What you gonna order off the menu?
Oh, the menu.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm probably gonna get some seafood, like a seafood boil. I'm gonna go
They
sit
say
down and
rubbing
get
his
like
chin and
50.
everything. He all
Yeah,
in that shit.
that's
Hey,
what niggas do when they get their tax money. Like,
yep,
oh shit, bro. Like,
exactly.
let me get this.
Exactly. That's my
Dang,
point.
damn, that's $100 a plate. Man, I'm gonna get that shit. Man, I
Mm,
got about 5 more bands left. Next thing you
fact,
know, next week then I get
We
cash
do
on me
that
like
already.
$20.
fact. Hey, bro, what you gonna order at the restaurant when you get your tax?
This nigga right here, boy.
What you
Well,
gonna get, bro?
go ahead and think
I'm gonna
about it,
order
man.
the same shit I order right now. It's the
Okay.
same shit I
Black
already fucking
Raindrop said it,
ordered.
man. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna order when I go into. I'm gonna walk in though. I'm gonna see what they
Oh,
got
yes.
going. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see what they really got going, and I'm gonna see what really just came out fresh. And then whatever that is, I'm probably gonna get a little seafood. I'm gonna do the combo supreme extra. And
This thing said the combo supreme extra.
Extra.
yeah, with a little sauce on the side. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm gonna tell them,
That's the problem in the black community. That's why I say
I'm
it's a
a
social economic issue
no,
because
shout it,
the
no, shout it.
mentality is different.
No, Shawty, I'm gonna get the one with the crab legs and not the one that where they
Man,
dip
this
it.
nigga lying. He lying because you eat that shit every day any damn way.
I'm
So
just saying when I roll up in there and I got my tax money, well, when I got my girl tax money and I got her little when I got her state card in my pocket
you
and
know
we
what they
go
do?
to the restaurant.
You know what they do? They take the whole family to the buffet.
Facts.
Yep.
And when her three little kids that ain't mine say when we pass into me, I'm gonna tell her, hey Shotty, go and get what you want, little boy.
That nigga gonna run it
Whole
up too.
whole
Hey, they
time.
gonna be like, "Can I get pizza and chicken nuggets?"
Hey, I'm gonna tell her, oh yeah, for sure. Hey, and whole time, cause I got the text check card in my pocket. I'm gonna be looking over there. I'm gonna like normally I just get like little shrimp dinner or something like that. I'm gonna be looking at the double platinum supreme seafood platter.
You know when most people that work in restaurants quit
Text
What's that?
during tax season.
Cause they be fed up with niggas.
Yeah,
nigga like
they be
us.
mad as hell,
Yeah.
Hey, that nigga know. He said they gonna be like, hey, you want the crab
and
legs? He gonna be like,
they
nah, bring out the whole
Nah.
crab.
and they don't even
Yeah.
tip them.
Yeah. I want the crab that left in the bottom of the net. I need a net, nigga, cause we want the double platinum supreme platter. Extra butter, shout it.
Facts. Leave it
But
at that
yeah.
bitch.
But yeah, man, like for real,
Oh
for
man.
real, for real, for real, though. But at the end of the day, man, like you were saying that it is kind of like there's a split there because a lot of people like they take that. like they'll take this time. It's like a celebration or whatever, and they go do whatever they need to do, or not need to do. They go do whatever they want to do with this money, while while other people are just like, yo, I wish I had that money. I could straighten this out. If I could get this 2, 3 years straight, I'd be good. Why do you feel like? Why do you feel like some people
Wait, say
just
that again.
really don't really don't cherish that money? Is it based on like not seeing what they could do, like not having like the guidance and things of that sort from having that type of money, or is it just they don't care? They're just living for the moment.
I think.
Let me hold on real quick, real quick. Let me just
Uh,
tell you what my girl just said because she came from restaurant management, like high end. She said tax season is the worst time of the year in restaurant business because a bunch of people that don't normally have the money to come out
Cause she
and
hate
enjoy.
niggas.
Nah,
I'm joking.
fuck that. Clearly, nigga.
What restaurant chain was that so we could boycott it?
I ain't fucking with the city no more. No, Dez is just me and you, nigga. I ain't even talking to this nigga no more.
hey, I'm over here crying. This nigga dog.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with this nigga.
I'm just joking, man. I don't know if your girl is black or white, man. We just shooting this. We just shooting the shots, man. Go ahead,
So
bro.
a bunch of motherfuckers, like you were saying though earlier, when people make that come up and they don't know how to handle the money.
Hmm.
She was saying that a bunch of people that don't normally get the opportunity to come out. That's why I said in the beginning, it's a social economical thing. You know what I mean?
Correct.
They come out and they buy a bunch of shit that they, and then they don't leave a tip, and sometimes they act a fool.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, Des,
Because
would
they're
you?
not used to it.
Correct, correct. I agree. Des, would you call that social economics or some or the other sort of barrier when it comes to like things that Black Raindrop just mentioned?
Like when it comes to like people getting their tax money and just choosing what they do with it and shit.
Nah, the like this is like the instance that he just says like basically like they come out act a fool or don't know what to do
Oh,
with the money,
at the
things of that
restaurant.
sort. Would you call that like social economics or more so like a some sort of barrier or like
Do you
how would
have
you
a
explain
different
it?
theory on it, or
It's no, it's, I think it's a little bit of both, really. I would say a barrier because it's an education barrier. Motherfuckers don't really know like what to do with bread like that, how to conduct themselves when they get that bread or what to do with it. And then social economics too, because most motherfuckers out that get that tax money is temporary, and they want to go out and show out. You know what I'm saying? Like the same motherfuckers that don't leave tips at the expensive restaurants, the same ones that probably don't leave no tip for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But they just doing it on the bigger stage because now they got the bread. And they're like, okay,
Right.
let's go to Eddie V's or let's go to
it's a perceived
Maggiano's or
bigger
some shit like that.
stage?
Hey, what's
Yes.
what's Eddie B's?
Eddie V's. It's a restaurant. It's like a upscale restaurant. It's,
Oh
a, it's
man,
in
shit.
Charlotte.
I
I
never
thought
heard
they
of that.
sold. I thought they sold Harley Davidsons.
Oh,
This
nah.
nigga
This
stupid.
nigga, wow. Why you say that,
I don't know. It
bro? How
just
you get...
sound like Eddie B's Harley Davidson shop or something. I don't know. I
It's
never
They
not
heard of
sell
it.
tractors
Eddie
or
B,
some
no.
shit
Eddie
like that.
B's, yeah. No, it's like an
Yeah,
upscale restaurant. So they got
Eddie
like, they have a
B's
band.
tractors. Yeah,
But nah, I think it's a little bit of both though. It really kind of depends. Like
yeah.
if motherfuckers had the education to know what to do with that bread and conduct themselves with that type of money,
Exactly.
then they'll conduct themselves like that. But
Right.
then it's
But
Like
the,
I
the
used
ones
to
that
sit
just
down. I used to sit down with them all the time because I used to have to conduct financial reviews with them, go through
mhm.
their pay stubs, the whole nine,
this
right?
dude said I had to sit down and conduct financial reviews with them.
And financial interviews with them,
Oh,
and
interviews. Go ahead, Black
yeah,
Raindrops.
go through all
Hey,
their expenses, all their income, the whole nine, right? But I used to take advantage of that opportunity to educate, you know, mostly, you know, ethnic folks or even white folks, whatever the case was, because
I'm about to
I was
say you
like,
starting to sound like a racist.
shut the fuck up. Nah.
Black Raindrops is a racist. Stay tuned, and we're gonna
Whatever.
expose them. We're gonna expose them as a racist. Stay tuned. Go ahead, bro.
Wait for
I'm
the
in.
Yes.
thumbnail.
You can't expose me for shit because I don't give a fuck what people think anyway. Sec- Secondly, I used to sit down with them and I used to always take advantage of the opportunity to educate people on how to handle their shit differently. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people took heed, most people didn't. But if you can affect and educate one person that walks away with that knowledge and does things differently, then they do. But most of them don't because
Yeah.
when they get that windfall, there's zero. They didn't have the education prior to that to know how to handle it. You know what I mean?
hmm
Right,
I guarantee
right.
you, 90% of them motherfuckers probably still buying used whips off the lot
Hey,
every year and buying jewelry and clothes.
And
But
still
but
and still putting spree wells on them in
eh,
2024.
but the root. But I feel like
Spree well hubcaps.
I'm gonna go in defense. I'm gonna go in defense because I feel like most of the people, like you said, it's kind of like a social barrier,
Yeah.
and like when people get money like that, I feel like we're partially responsible for like a I'm not sure. I don't want to say getting close to them or adapting or bringing them into
Well,
our
making sure
circle.
we educate them.
Yeah, but the only way,
I gotta plug my laptop in.
okay, but the only way like most people will listen to you if you can relate to them.
Yeah, you
Mm,
get yeah,
And
that's true.
so
that's a
That's
good
a
so
point.
yeah,
That's a good
that's a
point.
very good point. Yeah.
yeah, and like you have somebody who like I know a guy that's on the right track right now, and he's blowing tax money year after year after year after year. He's got to go through that.
Mm,
He's gonna come
mm,
around. He's very smart, very intelligent. He's on the right path.
mm.
What you mean he's got to go through that?
I mean, you gotta. I
Oh,
feel like
that process until
yeah,
he
you
gets
gotta
to a
go through
place
that
to
Yeah,
process.
where he
yeah,
appreciates it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm?
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, yeah, that social barrier I think is I think that's the bigger factor out of the two because you got other ethnicities and other people that teach what they do with bread where what I'm saying black people or just and some white people too or some people other races they haven't had that education, they haven't been around that growing up, so they not used to
right,
they only used to like seeing motherfuckers get
right.
bread back and spending it on shit, so
But,
nobody
but
properly taught them.
but social media is. You think we were bad? You think the black race was bad before? Social media is making it that much worse. Like only thing we're
Hmm
doing is like we're making a mockery out of it. It's
Yeah.
like LOL, all these emojis, like what you gonna do with your tax money? Why you doing this? And it's
hmm
just all about LOL emojis.
Yeah.
And that you think is bad now.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that shit though, it's the same way social media can like influence motherfuckers. Like how we talking about what you doing with your tax money, like motherfuckers can take it one way. They can either take it and say, oh yeah, they talking about how niggas spend their tax money and how they use it for buying cars and buying unnecessary stuff. But on the flip hand side, social media, like same things we saying and other social media platforms, people saying like they give you ways to make money off that tax money too. So it's kind of all what you really want to take in, like what you choose to take in and shit.
Exactly.
Like,
So when I say social economic situation, what I'm saying is if you run, regardless of your race, if you run,
hmm
this is all my opinion, right?
hmm
I don't claim to be an expert. If if you run in a social setting or environment where everyone makes 100 grand, regardless of what your race is, even if you're black, you're gonna do different things with that tax money. But if
hmm
you run in a social, if you economic situation where everybody makes 20,000, you're gonna how you handle that tax refund is going to be different regardless of your race. That's why I say how they handle that money is based on it's a social economic thing.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
So
but how you handle money is based on like what you've been around. Like I guess you could say that's you would call that social economics or whatever. But at the same time, like we came from the same like neighborhoods and things of that nature as them. So are we responsible for taking them under our wings and teaching them? And when you're teaching
yep.
someone like that, nah, I don't think so because if I got to take this amount of time from what I'm doing to teach others, then I may fall because we ain't
I
got no crutch.
what you
It-
say
it-
15 minutes ago? You
I don't
said
know shit. That was 15 minutes ago.
you said some shit like you said you took something from what I told you and you talk to your girl about it or talk to somebody about or you talk to your homeboy about it and you basically took that knowledge and passed it down or passed it on.
Hmm.
So I'm not gonna sit, around and have all of this knowledge, this worldly knowledge, and not
Hmm.
pass it on to somebody. And I didn't even know that you would pass it on to somebody. So you took on that responsibility of helping and passing on that knowledge to your
Oh,
homeboy or whomever it was.
oh
So
man, speed that shit up.
that's I'm saying. We
Mm.
take on that responsibility without if we choose to take on that responsibility. But are we
Right.
should we be required to take on that responsibility? Hell yeah, because we sit back and we watch, certain like groups of people make the same decisions over and over generationally, where if you start to gain knowledge or find yourself in a position where you got a little bit more knowledge than the previous generation, of course you got to fucking pass it on,
Yeah.
or else
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
stay in the same damn spot.
yeah.
Normal. Well, normally you're
Not
tapping
trying to
in.
get
This,
all revolutionary and
oh,
shit like that. I'm just saying.
nah. This is the raw. This shit. Sorry to cut you off, Diz.
are you good, bro?
Sound familiar?
No.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing, nigga.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah, nigga, fuck you, man.
I mean, most of the people that we're going to that are going to attach to us as grown men are not going to be kids. They're going to be our peers at this point.
mm,
Um, and I also feel like just do the best you can without knocking yourself off of your pivot. You know what I mean? Like you could help, but like you can't be in distress
yeah,
about other people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
yeah,
for sure,
And
for
that
sure.
and that's
That's for
that's
sure.
why that's why we're on this tax time topic. Like so many people are just blowing through the money like
Well,
this.
let me ask you
hmm.
something real quick. Sorry to cut you off.
Absolutely. That's our that's our new
Nah,
drop. Sorry to cut you
sorry to
off.
cut you off. Yeah.
What happens if you after you pivot? What's the point in pivoting?
Hmm. Who you asking that this?
Both of you. I want to know what once you pivot in anything. Let's say you in basketball, you're playing basketball. You got to pivot to do what?
I mean, I
Well,
feel like go ahead, dude.
nah, I mean, you pivot. You gotta pivot to get in a different position.
And or have continual movement so you can score.
Right, right, right.
Feel me?
Yeah,
So I'm saying like, never mind. I
I feel like
maybe
I feel I feel like a pivot. Me, I'm a go a little mental with it. Like a pivot is gonna be like we could do it like basketball or anything that's physical. I would feel like a pivot would be the stopping point where your brain decides are we gonna go this way or that way. So I think we should probably
that's my
replace.
point. But
Yeah,
it has it's the place to where you decide
what
for
you're gonna do.
continual movement, like what are you
Right,
gonna do next, right?
right.
So
hmm.
like everybody has that opportunity to pivot, and most people do, and then most people decide to do, to do this or to do that. In the end, before we make a decision, we all have a minute,
Mhm.
microcosmic fucking
But guess what?
second to decide
But guess what?
to do whatever it is that we're gonna do before we
Guess
actually do it.
guess what? Agree or disagree, Des. Every human that I know, matter of fact, every human walking this earth, every decision that they decide to make, they feel like is right.
Yeah, I would say
Well,
that.
not all of them,
That's
because
not all, yeah, you can say every decision ain't right.
yeah, it's some nasty motherfuckers out here. But you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to make a life decision, you're gonna feel like the decision that you made was like the right
It was the
decision
right
for
decision
you.
to move you forward in your circumstance. Yeah, I agree with that. I
Even
agree
though
with
like if Des telling me like, bro, I don't feel like you should do this. I don't feel like you should
I
move
don't
like
agree
that.
with that. I don't agree with that.
Okay, go ahead.
that. You say why you disagree. I say why I agree. How about that?
I agree with what you're saying because that's your opinion, but I don't agree with that theory because every decision that we make, whether we are conscious of it or not, is we know that there's either a reward or a consequence. Every decision that we make, we weigh like in a minosecond whether or not there's a consequence or there's going to be a reward. So when we
Yeah,
make that decision, sometimes we make the decision knowing that there's going to be consequences, but we still make the decision. That doesn't mean that we know that it's right or think it's right. It's just in that moment, that's the decision that we make,
right,
knowing that there could be consequences
right.
versus making the decisions that that
Still,
where there are rewards.
they're still gonna result in consequences.
Yeah, yeah, I say that too because I'm gonna use an example. So, um,
Let's go, Des, with the example.
there's a consequence. So, let's say
Wait,
you trying to
which part
this.
do you agree with first so I
No,
know?
I agree with what bro was saying at first. How he thinks everybody makes decisions on like they gonna do something in life. It's something that's good for them, like a good decision that they gonna make. Um,
Mhm.
so let's say you're trying to boss up, right? You're trying to eliminate people from your life
I got
just
a
to get
question for
to the
your
next
ass.
level. To get to the next level, then
That's
you
my
thinking that
specialty.
you think what you're doing is you're making the right decision for yourself to better yourself. The consequence of that is that you're gonna lose some people. Now that might not be a big consequence to you because you probably already accepted that this person gonna have to be out of your life in order for you to elevate and go higher. That's a consequence. That ain't no bad consequence. You know what I'm saying? But that's a decision that you're making to better yourself. You
That's
know
a
what I'm saying?
reward
Like
then if you're bettering yourself though, right?
it is, but it can also be a consequence too. Because
But
So that
what
means
if
that person that you that,
everything is every decision is a consequence.
that means every decision is a reward
every
because
decision is a reward and consequence. It could be
we
both.
don't know what life is gonna deal us or whatnot. Like say if we shut the podcast down today
Okay.
and we all agree on that and we're thinking like, yo, we need to focus on this or that and we need to shut the podcast down and move forward.
So that's the
We
reward.
we would feel like that's the reward, but that could also be the consequence. We should have stuck with it because we don't really
Hmm.
know what life is gonna give us tomorrow.
Right,
But
right.
I was
Yeah,
speaking.
I get that, but it's also how's it but the reward, like let's say you say, all right, well, let's say one of us says, when I come home from work, I have to pick up my kid and I have to spend time with my kid and help them with their homework, so on and so forth, right?
Right,
Yeah, so I can't do the hypothetically. I
correct,
can't do the podcast, right?
correct,
It might be a consequence for somebody else,
right.
but it's a reward for me because now I'm not gonna fuck up my shit and I'm spending my time with my kid, making sure they're good in school. Because
Well,
if I don't take that time, what happens if he fails his next test?
but what happens if the podcast blow up and you find out that ain't your kid?
Man, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, it's a reward and the consequence. At that point, you kind of face with two consequences. Then you ain't really got no reward.
All I'm saying
but
is at the
but back,
time, all I'm saying
yeah,
is at the time we
at the
decided,
time,
at the
Yeah,
time in here,
correct,
when we have to make a decision,
correct.
yeah.
we're weighing consequences and rewards.
Correct. And that's what I was saying earlier. We don't really know what the consequences or rewards are. We just have to kind of like walk forward because there's really no rule book here.
Mm.
Get the fuck out of here. Y'all niggas pissing me
There's
It
off.
ain't no, it ain't,
there's
yeah, it ain't no rule book to
hey
this shit. It's just life. You gotta
do,
figure that bitch
There's
out.
no rule book to
hey
anything. Fuck
hey
y'all talking about.
do we
Y'all
get a
niggas
black
talking in code tonight.
do we get a black raindrops y'all done piss me off segment at the end?
Damn right.
Sound like we done
Yeah,
pissing this off.
Yeah,
yeah.
We
y'all
pissing
pissing.
his
Y'all
ass off.
been pissing y'all because y'all talking that bullshit tonight.
Nah, but
Cause
real talk though. But back on
you,
topic though, like how we drifted here was basically we were talking about like how people and click subscribe if you guys are watching, or one of you.
doesn't matter. One is better than zero. Nigga.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
shit. Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather for one person to watch for 10 hours than for 10 people to watch for 10 seconds.
Because the
Um,
content might change that person's life. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Oh, our podcast definitely like I do feel like if anyone's watching our podcast, like we shoot the breeze or whatever, but it's always something to take out. Like somebody always dropping something.
Word up.
Myself, Black Raindrops, or Diz is always dropping something that you could take out of this.
Word up.
Mm-hmm.
Of
100%.
course. Or else what would be the point in doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But back to
So,
what we was talking about is basically like we kind of drifted off. We were talking about excuse me, we were talking about tax money and like how some people like make very bad decisions with tax money. Um, so if someone had, you know, it's like I'm gonna buy a car. You got a job, you ain't got no license, and you can't really put insurance on the car or whatnot, but you need that car so you could drive to work. Is it a good or a bad decision for that person to purchase a car cash because he got his tax money or she got her tax money and it's a car for 2,500 and they feel at that moment that it's okay and it's a good decision for them to buy a $2,500 lemon car so
Fuck
they
no.
could get so they can get to work and back because
Excuse me.
they've been going losing jobs and just can't really get a ride to work and things of that sort. Because this is really what happens when people get tax money.
yeah.
Like when people buy cars and things of that sort. I mean, food, clothes, and stuff like that. Like that's probably a different bracket, but you do have people in these situations to where it's like, yo, I need to buy another lemon. I know it ain't worth a damn, but at least I look good in it for 3 more months and I could be able to get to work. Like what's with that situation? How do
That
you guys feel about that?
um that could be okay for the situation. I mean, it's not the consequence of it is okay, you riding in the car, you ain't got your paperwork and shit right, you could get pulled over. That could lead to other problems. But if you don't, if you
There's
don't get caught,
there's
shit.
it could lead to other problems.
Shit.
Exactly.
But if you don't get caught, then you getting to work, you making your bread, and you can get that bread to pay for that shit. And you ain't got to worry about it. It's just a chance you gotta take. You know what I'm saying? That's a survival mode at that point. You really can't tell nobody like, oh yeah, bro, don't buy that car because you know what I'm saying. You might get pulled over, da da da. That nigga like, I gotta get to work, but I gotta make the money to get
Right.
this shit.
It's
So he
all
gonna go
about
do it.
mentality.
It's all
You
about
shouldn't. You
mentality.
should
Yeah.
never. You should never pay cash for a car.
But that ain't the point though. The point is, do you get that? Do you need that car to get to that job? Like
Right.
you can't tell a random
Hey,
motherfucker that's in that situation that bro don't buy that car for 2,500, bro. If it's something that can get
yeah.
him from 5 minutes down the road,
There's
just
Yeah.
enough
always
for
going
him
to
to make
be
it.
unless you're driving on the street and you see the
Go ahead.
car.
Go ahead and
Unless
speak up, Black Trump.
unless you're driving on the street and you see the car sitting in somebody's yard and the owner it says no, I want cash, right? If you ever have financing options, you should always finance because You shouldn't come out of pocket with $2,500 because tomorrow some shit might pop off to where you need 800 to take care of that. But now you don't have it to take care of it because you sank 2,500 in a
Right.
car that's only gonna last you 6 months, maybe a year. So what you
Is
want to if you have financing option, if you do now,
is
you
that
should.
is that is that is that Black Raindrops the person, or is that Black Raindrops the finance manager? Because I
Both,
mean,
nigga.
me personally, I'm not going to, if I could pay $2,500 or $3,000 cash for something with no interest straight out of pocket. I'm definitely gonna do that, opposed to paying $2,500 in finance and that same 2,500, and in today's market looking at 24.99 APR or something like that.
Well, that's why I said it. I mean,
Oh, we
you
smart too.
oh no, but
Yeah,
some shit.
yeah.
No,
We
no. What
look
I'm
like this,
saying.
but we not. I ain't talking about you, Black Raindrops.
Oh yeah, we are.
I'm talking
Oh
Uh,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
people.
yeah.
We
We
look
yeah,
getting
like
deep.
this,
We're
but
getting
we
deep on
kind of
that shit
smart.
tonight. What I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
is, all right. So you got 2,500, right? And most people do make this mistake, right? Especially with tax money. They'll go out and buy that $2,500 car that you mentioned. That's
Hmm.
gonna last 3 to 6 months, right?
Right.
And then and then 3 months or 4 months, they don't have. It starts to break down. They don't have money to repair it.
If you gonna spend cash on your car and the muffler ain't don't look like is where it was when the car was made, don't buy it.
Yeah, like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, if you're gonna spend that bread, you gotta shop around, man. You can't just
If
buy the
And if
first
you
thing
do
looking.
buy it, that's my point. If you do buy it, don't put all the money that you have in the shit. So you put a piece of it in there. So you can either repair it if it needs repair, or if the engine
uh,
dies, you still got another 1,000 stashed somewhere to go
but
get something different.
you can't really afford the repair it if you're in a situation where you need to buy a $2,500 car cash only when you get your taxes. So if your muffler is
What did Des just say? What the fuck did Des just say? He says it's all about the mentality. That's what we've been talking
absolutely
about. The
that,
mentality of the person that would use their tax
yeah,
money on that type of shit. They don't
right,
think about that type of shit. And they're usually the ones that find themselves in those situations.
right. But how can
Easy.
we help them? How can we help
I'm
them?
trying
Because
to right now. What are you talking about? The fuck is you
you ain't trying
talking
to help them,
about?
man. You trying to turn them. You trying to turn
No,
them into
nah,
Trump supporters.
nah, fuck that. No, I'm not a fucking Trump supporter. Get the fuck out of here.
That nigga- Hey, we should have a little banner that go across the screen, and when he get pissed off, like Black Range Johnson's pissed.
Yeah, man,
I'm,
you're starting to piss.
hey,
This nigga
hey,
is starting to piss me off though.
I'm
Saying
gonna
that
start
shit.
tagging that shit on his picture. I'm gonna start flashing it.
I'm nowhere. I'm nowhere close. But at the same time, we have to educate like folk. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's what I
Educate
was
them.
saying in the beginning.
Educate
If
them
you have
now. What should they do with that tax money?
put that shit in the bank, put it in a safe.
I mean,
If you need a car, and you have financing options, or you need a house, or you need to get an apartment, or whatever the case, if you have financing options, only take a
hmm
portion of it and put towards that investment because, like we said earlier, we only have today. Tomorrow doesn't exist, neither does yesterday.
I
So you
completely
might
agree.
need that other fuck $1,500
I agree.
for some shit tomorrow. Or you put
Absolutely.
$1,000 down on the car, make I don't know $120 a month on it.
Right.
Then you take the other 1,500 and pay off any credit cards that you might have. So
Right.
you're improving your credit score. So now
Right.
you're improving your credit and you got your
Right.
transportation.
But I gotta stop you there, bro. And I'm right there with you on this Black Raindrop.
But nothing's perfect, like
Oh yeah,
you know.
absolutely. But to the people that's watching and may watch later, you did you said something about purchasing a car, whether it's with cash or financing it, and then you stated purchasing a home. And I just kind of wanted to bring it to light to the light of the people that may be watching, the difference between the fuck.
First of all, buying
Nah,
a home is one of the biggest scams in the fucking world. I
if you
wouldn't
don't know how to work
recommend.
it,
I wouldn't recommend anybody like buy a home because you're basically renting for 30 years.
you- yeah, I guess kind of. Nah, but you could resell. But what we're talking
Like I
about,
said, I guess kind of.
but what were the two things? Like I literally I drew a blank and I was gonna tell like our viewers something like really dope. Um, and I know this. I talk about it all the time. Things that you spend money into that may or may not make you money back, and then for sure money. What are the two terms in business?
First
Assets
of
and
all,
liabilities.
There we go. That's what I was
Assets and
about to say.
liabilities.
Yes.
Assets and liabilities. Yeah.
All right, so let me go back to what I was saying. Like
first
you
of
did.
all, hold on. What'd you
Hmm.
say? Expenses and liabilities,
Assets
Nah,
and liabilities.
assets and liabilities. I just
assets and
wanted,
liabilities.
yes, sir. I just wanted you to explain to the people that are watching it or may watch later. Um, like you kind of broke it down into purchasing a vehicle and then purchasing a home. Like with the home, you can like gain equity, things of that sort in a home. So that could be more so an asset. A home you could resell it for more money. And then a vehicle is more so a liability.
Liability right
If
out of the gate,
yeah,
unless you
if
pay it
you
off.
absolutely, if you could, even if you do pay it off, you know the um the value of the vehicle is gonna still decline, so it's still a
Mhm.
liability. If you could, Black Raindrops, we know that you've been in the finance business for a very long time. Can you break that down? The difference between assets, liabilities, and why you should manage your money with your taxes based on the two.
Assets or anything you have equity in. Like if you take how much you owe versus how much it's worth. The difference between the two is it makes it an asset. That's it's all equity. I mean, that's the equity. You know what I mean? So that makes it an asset. Property doesn't make something an asset. It just makes it property that the bank still owns. But you
Mhm.
can still oftentimes pull the value out, which is
Mhm.
equity versus like expense or what you owe. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like what you said. So
Yeah.
if you got a $300,000 home and if it's worth 300,000 and you only owe 250, you could pull out that 50,000 if you want, but now you got a second mortgage. You feel me? Because you still
Mm.
have to pay back the 50,000. They make you feel as if that's your 50,000. You know what I mean? But you still have to pay it back. And I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's that's what I'm saying. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But don't people take the equity like in real estate like homes? They take a lot of people take that equity out and invest it in something else, like
Exactly.
another house or
That's
another asset.
you know what you're investing in when you take that equity out and you're
Mm.
investing in the home. You know what you're
Mm.
doing?
Mm.
You're just increasing the value of the home for the bank because the bank never expects you to pay it off anyway. There is
Mm.
zero bank that expects a homeowner to make every monthly payment, mortgage payment for 30 years on time. Think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that's true.
They
Yeah,
already
that's true.
know that. All you're doing, they're just saying to you, "All right, you can take this 50,000 and improve our property. So when you default in 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, whatever the case is, because the likelihood or the probability that you're going to default is high,
Mm.
we'll just be able to resell the house at a higher rate
I heard
because
it.
you took the
Mhm.
money that you thought was yours, you thought was equity, and you put it back in the house to help us resell it later on when you
And
default.
now a word from our sponsors.
Think about that. No, no, no. I
Oh,
want y'all to think
no,
about that real
we ain't
quick.
got no damn sponsors. Go ahead, bro.
Think about that real quick though. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
You're
it.
all you're doing is like unlike a car, like when you buy a car, right, and you put aftermarket rims on it, it decreases the value, right?
Mhm.
You buy a
Man,
house, you
stop,
pull.
stop talking about my Lexus.
Your shit
I'm
hot,
messing
your
with
your shit fire though.
you. Go
But
ahead, bro. I'm messing with you.
but but you buy a house, you got you. It takes you a while to build equity. It's all about what does a house what is a house next to you worth? And the one next to you, the one across the street that they just built. So that improves your equity in your house just because
See,
you just happen to be in that neighborhood.
but you have to
Mhm.
do the math on that. It's called comp pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it's called, of course. But when you go to the bank, or the bank starts sending you letters saying, "Hey, you want to get this, take out some equity, take out this equity loan, blah blah blah," and eventually, when you want to go buy a car, go on an expensive ass vacation, or flex a little bit, or whatever the hell it is, you go to the bank, and they're like, "Yeah, you can get 50,000, but you still gotta you now you got two mortgages." That's what people don't understand. Now you got two
Mhm.
mortgages, right?
That's
And
two.
then
That's
all you're doing, hold on, all you're doing, they're just giving you money to make home improvements for them to increase
correct.
the resale value when you default because they don't ever even expect you to pay it off anyway over
Right.
30 years because no most people don't pay off loans like mortgages over 30 years.
Right. But if you're smart, you should not walk into any type of 30-year loan. If you're a businessman or woman, you should not walk into any loan over 5, 6 years and expect to pay it off. That should definitely be a money flip.
That's exactly what I just
Mhm.
said. Like
Oh, well, I wasn't here. My
mortgages,
bad.
oh yeah, my bad. Mortgages is one of the biggest, second biggest scams in the United States or in the world. That's
but
next
it's
to student loans.
but it has a large profit
Yeah.
margin. You gotta flip them
Yeah.
off.
For who?
For who?
Well, only 1% of the population, or probably half of 1% of the population, are in a position to where they can buy something and flip it off real quick.
Well, not really flip it off real quick. Would you suggest renting or purchasing a home
Y'all pissing me off because I could
if
tell I'm getting a little my like.
if you only yeah, that's what we gotta get into. We'll clip this and we'll make this a whole different segment. Both of you guys, Des, D Major and Black Raindrops.
What
Would
up?
you suggest purchasing a home if you only have $10,000 in your bank and you made $50,000 a year in house? Between the two of you, would you suggest purchasing a home or renting a home, and why?
Go ahead, D.
Uh,
Or you want me to go
I
first?
ain't never bought it. I
I'll
ain't
go
never bought a
first if
house.
you need some time to
I,
think about it.
nah, I ain't never bought a house, so
Just
I
logically.
say rent. But uh, if you make $50,000 a year, no, you said 50
Yeah,
racks
that
a
could be
year.
Yeah, that's what he said.
that could be you by yourself or you and your girl making 25K each with 5 to 10K in the bank. What would you suggest? Just straight off top.
Really rent, because you gotta think rent nowadays is like the price of a mortgage, but you just don't have all the expenses of taking care of shit. Somebody else do all they got maintenance and all the
Boy,
other shit that people take care of for you.
you better talk that shit, but that's why I said it's one of the biggest scams because people think, all right, let's buy a house, but they don't have enough capital stored away to where they can maintain it. They
Yeah.
can't furnish. A lot of times they can't furnish it, and they
Mm-hmm.
go in debt trying to furnish it,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and try to like. Yeah, the only reason people want to most of the time the only reason that people want to have a mortgage or buy a house is to impress other people. You know what I mean? And they furnish it this shit to try to impress other people, but they go in debt and they can't maintain it. What happens if the fucking air conditioner breaks tomorrow?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, rent like homeowner. I think homeowners should, if you do it the right way, like bro was saying, like flipping and shit like
Yeah,
that, and trying to make some
And what
money
if
off
you're
that
in a
shit is good.
neighborhood, but not that many people, bro. I worked for a company once, high
so
profile company. I'm not gonna mention the name.
that's because your ass ain't never worked for 'em.
we had to when we got on the elevator.
I'm joking, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
You
I know.
you supposed to come back at me, man. Like that's gonna make the reels.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say fuck you, but I'm gonna say it now. Mind your damn business, cause it's
Somebody done
high
pissed him off.
profile company. Yeah, you pissing me off tonight, man. You on some bull? I don't know what you sipping on, but you sipping on some fucking bullshit. But anyway,
I'm
I
sipping
was
on
Hey,
Lud.
what we got?
I'm sipping on Lud Bite.
what the fuck is a lud bite? This nigga
That's
stupid.
what it is, man.
So we had to get in when we got on the elevator. We had to we had to go down to the basement if you work for this company, right?
Hmm.
At our computers and shit. We had every single person had cameras and came down. They watched every keystroke, right? Everything we did, we couldn't take. Everything had to be clear. We couldn't like if we bought some shit out of the snack machine in the lobby, we had to put it in a fucking Ziploc bag that was clear. Uh,
Hmm.
that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. But we service like accounts for politicians, high profile celebrities. We had to sign like a disclaimer that says we can't talk about this shit, can't ever mention their names, any of that shit for life, for real. And I say all that to say that we used to because we had to like we did the underwriting, so we saw all their credit reports.
Man,
Rich
hurry
folk,
up. Dad's getting sleepy.
rich folks,
Yeah.
politicians, celebrities, so on and so forth. Most of them have two or three, two or three.
Houses.
What they
Credit.
call?
Privileges.
No. What they call
Privileges.
foreclosures.
Privileges.
They of
Okay,
course
go
they
ahead.
have a bunch of privileges, but most of them have multiple repossessions. Most of them have multiple like foreclosures and shit like that. And I say all that to say that just because I mean it appears on the surface that people are living one way, but
Oh yeah,
people aren't
absolutely.
living like that. People
Yeah.
don't be
Hmm.
living like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically is though, because I mean, if you're smart enough to do it, and most people are not, like you could definitely put a whole lot of shit in your name, things in your
But you're
name.
throwing away a lot of money in the process because you still
Yeah.
got to pay 20% to get into the house
Right.
in most cases. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I was speaking on I was speaking on the bankruptcy and the type of bankruptcies where you could. I was speaking on that when you were
Oh
saying
yeah,
like
no
they be having
foreclosures is what
foreclosures
I
and
was
things.
saying. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't file bankruptcy a lot, except Donald Trump. Donald Trump's filed bankruptcy like 11 times.
I don't know. I think people do it more than we know.
Mm.
Like I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it either. I mean,
Like
who gives
once
a
it
fuck? I don't give a fuck. You can
yeah,
do
like
whatever you think you need to do. You know?
right. Once it
Yeah.
comes to crunch time like that, I don't know. Shit, what were we talking about? What we was at?
I don't know. I got a little sidetracked a little bit.
Des, where we was at, man.
I
You start
don't know,
talking
bro.
about finance and accounting and shit.
We're talking about
That's
renting and
Hmm.
them buying a house. Yeah, at
rent,
50,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
rent, rent.
yeah,
Would
yeah.
you would say rent?
Yep.
50K, 50.
That's because I've seen it, man. I've been living it. I've seen it. It's a scam.
Yeah,
I just told you.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm gonna go with Des. Let's go with Des. Let's see what Des has to say about that. And anybody watching, drop in the comments and let us know if y'all feel like renting or purchasing a home is the right thing to do.
yeah. I already said renting. Home ownership ain't bad, bro. Like I ain't saying say I wouldn't buy a house, bro. Like, cause I would, but with 50,000, you gotta really have your money management skills like on point, and you really can't have a lot of debt. Cause you gotta account for the mortgage, you gotta account for the insurance, and you gotta account for like a lot of other shit that's gonna
Ooh,
happen
boy, you
with
better
that
talk
crib.
that shit.
So you
Right.
gotta, if you make 50K a month, you gotta make sure you can budget the mortgage and
Wait,
all
wait,
the other
wait, wait,
miscellaneous
wait,
shit.
wait, 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 wait. You said 50K a month. That's different.
I mean, 50K a year. My bad. Yeah, 50K a month. Yeah, so you can like get a
Oh,
big crib. Shit, but 50K a
oh,
year, like you got to really manage that bread and like account for all the stuff that could happen, that's gonna happen. But as
right.
renting, you know what I'm saying? With renting, you got that flat, whatever that rent is every month, and then you might have like your electricity, and then you might have groceries.
Mm,
But then if the AC go out, you need the filters replaced, or you need a
right.
hole in the wall, some shit need to get fixed. The maintenance company fix that
Y'all,
motherfucker.
y'all sound scary. Y'all sound scary. I'm gonna go against the grain, man. I'm gonna say, go ahead and purchase. I'm gonna say, go ahead and purchase. And I mean, I'm not really thorough on like the market and things of that sort, but I like just vaguely thinking. I'm thinking that if I'm gonna sit, like, if you were to go out on a limb and purchase a home, and then you're gonna rent it to me, your mortgage
Mm,
is probably gonna be cheaper than what you're gonna charge me for rent.
yeah,
And
yeah. I
and then
mean, yeah.
at that point, I'm not sure, but at that point, I'm gonna sign a lease to pay you this amount of money per year.
Mm,
Yeah, but you're not talking about you're
Mhm.
talking about one percenters, man. Like most people, you're not talking about the
Right,
majority
right.
of people that buy homes. Yeah, like that's why I said it, you have to be in a position. Like some people have a bunch of fucking money and
Right.
you can hide money in mortgages, in real estate, in property.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You could
Or
take
you
it,
could,
yeah.
you
or
could take it and hide it in the in that's a whole other
yeah.
conversation. But the
I feel
point
like
is,
you could. I feel like you could build money in purchasing as well. I
the
feel
average
like you
person in
could.
the United States, the average person in the United States makes $45,000 a year.
The average.
That's the average.
Yeah. See, that's crazy. I think we need to break that down to states because
No,
like the cost of living is different
yeah, I know,
in
I
other
get that.
states, and
Obviously,
it gives us a misconception. I would say the cost of live, the average person in South Carolina, and you can't even really average it because you got people making 100,000, 100 people making 100,000, 120,000, and
yeah,
everybody else making 15.
yeah. So I said the average is 45,000. Most people can't. The average person can't afford what
So
they think they can afford, man.
what would you suggest? Rent,
First of all,
rent, or
yes,
purchasing? And
rent.
let me get like 2, 3 sentences on why you would say rent opposed to
Don't tell me
purchasing.
how. Don't nigga. Don't tell me how many sentences to get.
Just real quick, cause we gotta wrap this shit up.
All
Yeah,
right,
hell yeah.
all right. If you get a 30-year, you get a 30-year mortgage. Like y'all can't tell me nothing about this
There's
shit. I'm a
there's
little rusty. I'm a little rusty, but I I spent my whole
there's
career doing this shit. Anyway,
but
because you
there
got to
there's
interrupt me
two
because it's
there's two
doing my
types of 30 years. You got a 30-year fix and you got
fixing.
a
You got a
30-year
30-year
flexible.
variable. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I know, motherfucker. Nigga, the fuck up. You ain't telling me nothing.
I'm just showing the people that we
Are
look
you sure that
like
we all
this.
smart? Okay, yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
we
We
educated
we
around this
we
motherfucker.
got
Yeah.
on hats and toe bottles, but we know what's going on. Go ahead, bro.
Word up.
My bad.
You're still only renting. That's my point. But you're renting with all the expenses and
I disagree.
the likelihood that
N-
the bank knows that the probability that you're gonna
No,
pay that mortgage off
no,
is slim to none.
I disagree.
Of course they're gonna give you money to like keep the upgrades. That's so
I
that
disagree.
once it forecloses, it's upgraded enough to where
Mm-mm,
they don't have to put as much money of their own
mm-mm.
money into it
I,
so
di-
you can resell it. But you're
I
still
disagree.
the only difference and then you know what's so fucked up about it is when you have a mortgage, now you're stuck in the same place until you decide to sell. When you
N-
rent, you can move around, you
you-
can go to different states, different cities, blah blah blah. If this doesn't work,
Hey,
you can move
Yeah,
around
every
yeah.
and do
It's
more
every pod
versus being stuck in the
every
same
every
damn state.
podcast every podcast that
Fuck
we've
this
ever
man.
done, every podcast that we've done, I always thought that Black Raindrops was smart as hell until today.
I don't give a fuck.
What is that?
I don't give a fuck what you
because
what if you think. I'm
because
telling
if
you, I came from the business. I'm in the business. They can't
but
tell.
you yeah, I'm gonna say like I don't really feel
Rent
like
is a better way to go, bro.
so let's
Let me
say
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick.
let's go.
So if you had a mortgage right now, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you made 50,000, like you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and all your air conditioning fails, do you have the money to replace it all?
I mean you just have to deal with that. But let's say
No, no, no.
this.
I ain't ask you if you had to deal with it because you have no choice but to pay for it if you own the house, right?
If your transmission go out in your car that's taking you to that $50,000 a month, I mean a year job, you gonna replace it? You
Or you just
definitely
buying
gonna
it. You can.
yeah.
The likelihood that you can replace the transmission in a fucking car versus a, a heating system in a house.
Shit, it
Come on,
costs
man.
it's the same price.
I knew you were gonna say that shit.
nah, nah,
Oh man.
but my thing is, and I'm no expert in this field or whatever. I'm
Yeah, I
just
know. We
I'm
just
just
talking
going
shit.
off, yeah, like based on how I feel. Like I feel like if I purchase a fif- a $50,000 property, put 70 grand in it, and I'm paying a mortgage on that 70 grand property that we did 20,000 in upgrades and 50,000 to purchase the home. At that point, my mortgage is probably gonna be in today's market maybe $700-800 a month. At that point, I can charge in today's market 11, 12, $1,300 a month.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah, but you don't buy a house to rent it out though. Most people
yeah, I'm
buy
gonna
the
buy
house
that.
to live in it.
You'll buy the house to live into it. But what you're doing when you're paying your mortgage, what you're doing is you're chopping down on what you owe, and that's gonna be the price of the house plus the interest rate. When you're
Bruh,
renting, you're doing that for someone else.
I you
True.
also when you have a
That's true.
mortgage, you're doing it for somebody else. You're just doing it for the bank, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's the same shit. The
Yeah.
bank is just your
But
landlord.
the only way the only I feel like the only way the bank is gonna get their money out of it if you sit there and live in there for 30 years.
What the fuck you mean? The bank has already got their money, bro. They don't give a fuck about that shit. Bank is already when they purchase it, so they
Right.
already own it.
So how does interest work? Does that come out monthly? I thought that when you're paying on interest, it's the interest over time. So basically, like if I purchase a home that's like 300,000, and then I'm gonna have purchasing a home that the interest rate's gonna be crazy. Probably gonna owe like 180,000 over 30 years, which and a lot of people don't notice this. If you
Hmm.
purchase a home that's 300,000, when you sign off on the paper where you're so happy that you're purchasing a home, you don't even realize that you're signing off to pay damn near $500,000 on that
Hmm.
home. But
Right?
that's over a 30-year fix.
Yeah.
And then
Or
you
float.
gotta
It's even
yeah,
worse than when it's a what's it called? Shit.
flexible.
Yeah, some shit like that. That's
Yeah.
that's even worse.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, if it's fixed, that's the best. If you're gonna decide to do that, fix is the best possible position. But only people that have really strong credit can get it fixed usually.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yeah,
the
you can
question is, go
go
ahead.
ahead. And I would just say like anytime you purchase a home, if you're not really financially stable, me personally, I would look to flip that home in 5 to I ain't even gonna say 5, I'd say 4 to 7, 8 years, and then you flip it out with hopes that the property value goes up. Did you see like the fluctuation over the last 2 3 years since COVID? People selling all day every day. banking 50, 60, $70,000. And then they were raising rent. You got people out here paying $2,000 a month rent.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
And you
But
got you
but
got
you
people
also have
you
very
have people
high. You also have a very high foreclosure rate because people bought homes they couldn't afford because the bank told them they could.
right. I
Now
mean,
they're renting, and a lot of people just walking away from mortgages and homes because they realized that once they got in, they couldn't afford to maintain it. You can maintain. The bank can convince you based on your gross income
excuse me.
that you can afford something, but they
And
don't talk to you about how to maintain the
right,
motherfuckers.
that's the same people. That's the same people taking all of these trips. That's the same people that's doing all of
Hmm.
this and all of that. Not
Hmm.
like the
Yep.
first thing I would think about a home or any property, me myself, I would think about the heat and the air because that's gonna be the most expensive piece
Repair.
of that home.
Exactly.
But it's doable, man. Let's get out of here, man.
That
140,
shit
man.
ain't doable. That shit ain't
Yeah,
doable for most
it's-
people because the foreclosure rate is way. You don't even understand how many credit reports I looked at where people had, were
right,
talked into like mortgages and shit like that that they couldn't afford, and then they had this adjustable rate mortgage to where
right.
they start out at $500 a month, and then in a year and a half it increases to two twenty
Yeah,
five hundred, and now their credit's fucked up, and shit like that. Then they end up renting anyway most of the time. Not
yeah,
everybody, but most of the
yeah,
time. That's why I say it's the biggest. It's
yeah.
just, to me, in my opinion, it's the second biggest scam in the world,
Absolutely.
behind student loans.
If it's not a 30-year fixed rate from the bank, I would definitely suggest not taking it because you can always refinance later. Like walking into the home buying process, I would definitely suggest walking into a 30-year fix, and then if that doesn't work for you, then refinance in the future.
Refinance or sell.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you find yourself in that. That doesn't mean it isn't a scam.
yeah,
That just means you found a way to get out of it, hopefully, before foreclosure.
right. And the way I feel like this generation here, we kind of grew up with, the old school
Hmm.
to where you just wanted to purchase a home and that's your home, that's your forever
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then our generation, well, the generation before the current generation, like like we're starting to get a little internet savvy, things of that sort. I think going forward, like our kids and our kids, I think we're gonna throw a monkey wrench into the whole like major buying process. But where we are now is like, yeah, because my mom will purchase a home and she feel like that's
Yeah.
her forever home. For me,
And she would be stuck, and she doesn't even like it, but
right,
she's stuck.
right,
That's my point. Now,
right,
if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna purchase a home, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, right?
flip out of it.
No,
So
and you
hey, I
start.
done I done told everybody it's over with.
Oh, oh, all right then.
go go ahead, go ahead, go
No, I'm
ahead. You
saying
pop back in.
if you want to do that, get one like a fourplex. You know what I'm saying? And live in one and run out the other ones, and
Yeah.
you have zero.
Bro, bro, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, probably like a day or two ago. And I was saying that it sounds like a really good idea, but to be honest, I've never heard any success stories from it. Like anyone coming out vocally saying like, yo, or a family member or a friend or family is like, yo, I did this, look at this now.
Well,
To
that's
me,
because we aren't running the same. We don't run in the same. Like most people don't run in the same circles with people that have the success stories. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The concept is what it is, but like I've thought about it, but I'm also thinking like,
How you think about it? You saying rent.
no, what I'm saying, I would still be in the same shit,
Right.
but yeah, I don't pay rent right now anyway. My good.
Hey man, wrap this shit up,
All right,
man.
man, it was some good shit. You know, it is what it is.
Word on the
People can
Street
do whatever
podcast.
people can do whatever the hell they want to do with their money. Fuck it, man.
Absolutely.
I don't
Do
give
what you want, man.
it.
Everything
Most of
is
them pissed
everything.
me off anyway when they came in for financing, so I don't give a shit.
Hey, drop it, man. Drop it. Tell them how you feel.
When you get your motherfucking tax money, put that shit in a safety deposit box. I know y'all not gonna do this shit anyway. Put it in a safe or pay off your debt. If you have credit cards, pay that shit off. Don't be out here buying Jordans and buying cars and rims and eating expensive meals and shit like that's ridiculous. Because guess what? In 3 to 4 months, that shit's gonna be gone anyway. And you're gonna be right back in the same place that you were in before. Save that money. At least, okay, reward yourself, but save at least half of it. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. Hey man, I'm a piggyback off you on that shit, man. These motherfuckers done pissed me off, man. They done pissed me off because the people that's getting the money don't really deserve the money. Not all of them, but a lot of them do not deserve the money. Once you get the money, you should pay back your friends. Pay back your friends that have been helping you throughout
Mm,
those first 10 months. That's what's
mm.
really pissing me off. It's
I
really
didn't think
pissing.
about that. I didn't think about that piece. That's true.
Absolutely. And it's
That's
really
true.
pissing me off. It really pissing me off when these baby mamas that's getting straight up payments through the whole year
Hmm.
and supporting the post saying they ain't getting their baby daddy nothing well in alliance with the baby mamas who don't get anything. That really pisses me off. Take your tax
Hmm.
money, shove it up your ass. What's
Hmm.
another thing that's really pissing me off is if you got your tax money, do not act like that ain't your tax money. That's your tax money. You earned that.
Yeah.
Show your ass with your tax money. Y'all
Yeah.
pissing me off acting like you got it out the mud with the tax
Mm.
money, man.
Yeah,
Word on the
man.
Street podcast.
And if you're a brother out here, or if you're a man out here, you're paying like you're giving up or having to lose your fucking tax money. Guess what? Lower your fucking exemptions or your allowances so you keep more of your money throughout the year. So
Let's
even
go.
if you do have to lose some at the end of the year
Let's
and give it to
go.
somebody else, it's a lower amount, and you have
Let's
more throughout
go.
the year to like take your own shit. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Word.
Absolutely. Word on the podcast, man. We look like gangsters. We look like thugs. We look like hoodlums, man. But tune in. We got the information for you. If you don't like the laughing joke, then don't bring it over here. Let's
Facts.
rock, man. It's your boy City Mike, man. Word on the Street podcast. Who we got on the other end?
Yeah, it's your boy Black Raindrops. Y'all already know.
Let's go.
All right.